everybody, and welcome to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about, so we're here to do it for you. And remember that this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on with the show, I'm one of your hosts, Wobble Plays, alongside, as always, the Stonks something alliteration S.
The
Court.
stonks? Waba, I'm going to start giving away.
Do not give it away.
Yeah, don't do that, man. Waba is talking about, Waba and I have, a little thing going on where we're buying Young Gun rookie cards of players that are 100% going to get top 6 minutes, but for some reason their cards are under $5 and it just doesn't make any sense. These guys are all going to get like 40 points easy and their cards are going to be worth a lot more than under $5.
Could have told people I was just sending you US cash to Canada and then you were redeeming it and sending it back. It's no, not allowed. Another voice you hear. He's built different. It's Pez.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going?
It's good.
So I wasn't here last week. I was taking a concert in with arms wide open.
I thought you were gonna go
taking higher.
Yeah, I thought you were going to take.
You know, I almost did, but I feel like that would have
But I just heard.
Were you 6 feet from the edge?
Oh man.
Be the man.
Some would say to drive down to the Xfinity Center is my own sacrifice.
Dude, they must have been awesome. How was it?
Tell us about that.
Dude, Creed was awesome. So I kind of like, so I bought tickets for my brother, kind of like as a meme at first, because it was like Creed and Three Doors Down, and it's like, when are we ever gonna see these guys? Like, Creed still, their songs are still incredibly good. So good.
Dude, just the beginning.
And
we're gonna get copyright.
No, we're not.
Yeah, it is.
falling
Creed just wants people to play their music.
Oh man, they're so good. The place was packed. And Three Doors Down.
Average age.
Ooh, I would say probably like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, that makes
sense. And it was a wide range between like
a wide range,
wide
open
with range, wide open
of I would say as young as probably early 20s to old. Which I was very surprised about.
So people that my age had their kids real young. They brought them to the concert.
Yeah, maybe, but Three Doors Down was good. We didn't see them. We just hung out kind of in the.
You missed Three Doors Down?
No, we could hear them. But I don't like,
You were sipping seltzers?
I had one bevy because I was driving.
Oh,
I had to
respectable.
I'm a safe driver when it comes to that stuff.
No, you're a smart man,
yeah.
but you were also you drew the short straw.
No, I offered to drive because when we went to Metallica, my friend drove. And man, like, they did some of their like religious stuff because they're a Christian rock band, but the hits, man,
Didn't that get like debunked once he had his porn movie came out?
I mean, he was saying all the God loves you stuff.
Okay.
Concert, so.
That's crazy. I mean, where would you even find that? Like, ugh.
Like,
what would you even put in the search bar?
Let me know what websites it's on.
Oh, gosh.
And they played like, they played all the bangers, Higher and
Banger.
Banger, Arms Wide Open, banger.
What
If? Forgotten banger.
I forgot that.
Forgotten banger of What If. And they I was telling Waba pre-show, they did an encore 2 songs. It was One Last Breath and then My Sacrifice. And One Last Breath, the crowd was so loud singing it, you could not hear Scott Stapp singing on the microphone. It was the loudest. I've been to a cajillion concerts. It was the loudest I've ever heard a crowd sing a song.
How many?
Cajillion with
that's
J.
That's mabillion in Canadian.
That's a cajillion with a hard J. And it was awesome. It was an awesome concert. You know what? We did it for the memes, and it was well worth the price of admission because Creed was good. Again, their hits hit. So if you like that music and you can go see them, You'll love it. They sounded great. The music was like way heavier than I ever expected it to be. Yeah, it was good. Everything was like tuned perfectly in terms of like the sound, because you know how sometimes like you go to a concert, like the bass is turned up too loud, and you're like, oh, this sucks,
Yeah.
man. I can't like hear anything. It was perfect. Sound audio, sound quality was great. So great concert. 10 out of 10.
They play Hot to Go.
What?
There's
Are
like
you like looking up songs just so you could like
no,
don't just
it's a stupid
randomly say
It's a
songs?
stupid Zoomer TikTok meme.
It is
Whatever.
pretty stupid.
I don't
I
know.
don't
My-
understand
my,
it.
my wife's friend who listens but doesn't play video games thought that was funny. That one was for you.
Great.
No one thought it was funny.
That one's for you, Alyssa.
That was for you, a
In
random
the car
person.
chat.
How did they know? Is that her actual name? Is that their name?
No, but without have
Dang.
blown your. Actually, no. I'm gonna lie to you. Yes.
Okay.
There's also an Alyssa listening. What? Actually, they're
It's
probably
like
from
he's speaking
Australia
to me
because we
through the radio. Oh, yeah.
we do well in Australia. So Alyssa, nar. How'd they
Oh.
know? How did they know? Court, you
Alar-
also had an
Alyssa.
exciting little weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I took on Thursday. I went to Fan Expo by myself. It's the nerd mania thing here in Toronto. It's our Comic Con. It's the closest thing we get.
Yeah.
But then on the Friday, I brought my daughter. So we got to go to the Paramount Canada booth, and a little game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed was there, and it was playable.
Let's go.
So that's
go.
if you don't know, that's made by our friends over at Outright Games. I think it
don't
drops
know, now you know.
October 8th, 4th. I don't know. Wow, but because of what's going on, it looks like your wife is naked behind us.
No, she's getting weights and it messes up my green screen.
Just for the audio listeners, go check it out on video.
It's not. That's
pretty
not how it
funny.
is. My weights are back here. You can.
I know, but when she walks by, I'm just telling
Well,
you.
maybe she should walk by when I'm. No, it's fine. She works at it this
Why
time.
does she keep wearing that green tank top? I don't understand.
That's hilarious. Anyways, I got to play the game. I was only able to, because of long lines and such, I was only able to play about 15 minutes, maybe. But my daughter got to play it as well. So I was playing the tutorial. And the tutorial, you get to try out each turtle. Each turtle has its move sets and then has one special move for themselves. It's a little bit of an RPG, as there is upgraded. You can upgrade moves and get other things for your turtles. The combat is pretty simple. I didn't find it difficult at all. It's all a little bit of the side scrolling with a little bit of openness. A lot, almost like the arcade Turtles arcade that we all know and love from back in the day. But it has the art style direction of exactly like the movies. Like it
Awesome.
looks like the movies. Unfortunately, I couldn't hear anything because we were playing on a dev kit, and who they also told me like it's the full game. Blah blah. They're going through it with me. I'm like, so is the game gone gold? And the person just looked at me like I was speaking different languages. And I'm like, well, you're playing on a dev kit, so I don't think it has. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, that's a dev kit. And I felt bad. Like
Poor
I
guy's
honestly,
just trying to do
They
his
just
job.
hire people to work the booths. They just get them from the area.
I wanted to message our friends out at Outright and be like, just ask me next time, and I'll do the demo of the game, because it was just the guy didn't know anything, and I it's fine. He said that he played it for the first time that morning. I was like, oh my god, all right. And he's trying to give me tips and tell me how to play it. I'm like, we're good, bud. Like let me just play it.
Step away, friend.
It's like in I know more than you. Just keep
Yeah.
walking.
My daughter was
Ron
like,
Swanson
my daughter
moment.
was like, I think you're wrong. When he would like tell her to do stuff, she's like, that's not what the screen says to do. So my daughter got to play it more than me. I played
How
about
did she
5
like it?
So I played about 5 minutes, and she got to play majority of it. As soon as we were able to use Donatello, she stole that controller away from me in
Smart
seconds.
girl.
We never got to try out the co-op, which kind of was disappointing. They didn't have 2 controllers there anyways, so I wouldn't have been able to try it. She really liked it. She is now more excited about this game than she was before. She didn't find anything frustrating. Mind you, she plays a lot of video games now, so she gets used to it, but it doesn't look violent, if that makes any sense. Like it's a beat 'em up, like 100%, but it's cartoon beat 'em up. And you can jump across the screen, you can do a lot of things, and the enemies weren't whooping her butt. We didn't get to choose difficulty settings, so I don't know if there is or anything like that. I didn't get to see the settings. They didn't show me that part. Once again, I don't think that was there because I don't think the game was gone gold. But for the bit my daughter played, she thoroughly enjoyed it. But I truly don't think I played it long enough to give any sort of, huge, like, this game, like, opinion from me. But my daughter says the game was fun, so I think that's enough for me.
That's a,
I can't wait. I can't wait for the game to
I
release.
mean, when you think of Outright Games, right? They make it for that age audience, so that's perfect.
I looked at this game, and I was more of this game is made by Outright. Like it's not, and that's not to say their games look a certain way. It looked like it was made by like a Konami. It's like they did a very good job. It looks very good.
That's
I
great.
mean, definitely. I feel like because we've been playing their game for so long, like you can definitely tell like the different stages they've gone through. Like, even like watching. Well, I played the PGMS games a lot with my daughter, but just seeing like one versus like the newest one, you can definitely see like a big improvement. So like graphic wise and even like gameplay wise. So I think they're like it's cool to see them take everything they learn. Or I haven't seen it yet, but like it sounds like they're taking everything from each game and kind of piling it on to the next. And
Yeah, it was good. I'm excited.
if you were to compare it gameplay wise, I know you said it's kind of like side scrolling. Would you compare it like more to like their DC game, like the superhero game? Would you compare it more like that in
No,
terms
so
of
the
like RPG
DC was
elements
more
too?
like I find DC to more be a top down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was literally like Turtles Arcade.
Oh,
But
that's
I
insane.
know that there's more to it. Like we've seen where there's, skateboarding and stuff like that. This was just the tutorial that I got to play, unfortunately. I wanted to play more, but I even said to my daughter, I'm like, there was like a lineup behind us. And I definitely 100% was like, hey, I know the guys that make the game. And I was wanting to play more. I tried to contact Paramount to try and get set up to get a session with the game. Our friend of the show, Riley Little, he got to do it. Unfortunately, I couldn't. They never got back to me. So I'm not cool enough. So it is what it is.
Sure. We'll definitely be covering that game. So if folks are curious and they want to see like hands-on, I mean, we'll cover it during an episode because
And then
that game's gonna be
also
awesome.
at Fan Expo, I was able to go to the Squishmallow booth, and I did that 15 times. And so it's a claw machine.
Mhm.
I only won, and that took about hours because you have to go online every single time. With my daughter, I won once. My daughter won a bunch of times. Matt Sawiski, my co-host from PlayStation Generation, he won a bunch of times. Yes. And Steve Vigvari's girlfriend, Angelica, she won a bunch of times. So my daughter got a ton of Squishmallows. And then we went by the Xbox booth, and they had a claw machine as well from Ubisoft for Star Wars. And I didn't win, neither did my daughter, but the awesome people over at Xbox grabbed a Nyx plush and gave it to my daughter.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Dude, we had a day. It was fantastic. We had a very good day. Oh, and before I stop talking about my daughter, she just recently asked for her birthday gift, and she's asked for a Bruins jersey. I know.
It starts.
Who does she want on it? That's
She's a pasta. So I have a Pasternak jersey. She actually wants 19 Lalonde.
Amazing.
that's
So
She
we're
gets
gonna. I have tickets. I told you guys I have tickets to a Bruins game against Toronto Maple Leafs in November. So I'm gonna take her to the Hockey Hall of Fame, buy her jersey, and then
That's awesome.
take her to the game.
That's
it's gonna be a
awesome.
good moment.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited. Yeah.
What's gonna be better is even sticking it to the Leafs fans
Oh, well,
after they get demolished.
regardless whether it's regular season, so we'll see. It's not like it's the playoffs where they, they can't beat us because they suck.
Fair.
Wow,
Hold me now. I'm 6 feet. Sorry,
dude.
it's
Once
so
it gets
stuck in my
in,
head.
it's like once it gets in,
Maybe
it don't
6 feet.
leave.
I'm so far gone.
You're gonna see the listeners for our episode and then the listeners for Creed immediately after just being like exactly the same trajectory
That's right.
because
The
everyone's
crossover.
Big crossover. I mean, yeah, they're
So-
all 30, 25 to 40-year-old men. Huge
That's right.
crossover.
We know our demo. Court, you mentioned Nyx. For those who don't know, Nyx is
Because the
Sorry, that-
landslide take you
That-
down.
that
No,
got me.
Creed is way better. Don't do
Creed's
that.
way better, but
I'm not saying it was just that got me. Star Wars Outlaws came out recently. Technically, it did Tuesday. The full release comes out on Friday, and we've all gotten a chance to play it. So, folks, share some thoughts on Star Wars Outlaws.
It is all right. This is gonna sound bad, and it's not supposed to sound bad. It is a Ubisoft game. So right away, my friends are like, "How is it?" And I said, "It's a Ubisoft game. If you do not like the style of Ubisoft games, wait. Like if you're a Star Wars fan, but you're sick of, or you feel like there's too much to do in the open world in Ubisoft games, just wait." Other than that, I think that the game looks great on PlayStation, PlayStation 5. I saw some people were saying it looks pretty bad on Xbox, so I can only again speak to the PlayStation part of it. It's great. It looks good. They as someone who's not a huge Star Wars fan, I feel like they've done a good job creating a living Star Wars world. Sometimes that world, while it feels alive, and this is going to be a weird thing to say, while it feels alive, it sometimes doesn't feel alive. Like there's a lot going on, but you can't interact with the stuff you're walking past. But even then, like the music, I feel like the battle music's really good. The gunplay, hit or miss. The stealth mechanics, horrible. I hate the forced stealth. I'm not far enough, probably, as you guys. I hate the forced stealth missions where it is once you're caught, it's ultimate start over. And I've noticed, and maybe this can get fixed in a patch.
Get good.
Yeah, just get good.
Yeah, I know. Look at me. Do I look stealthy? No. I noticed that there can be parts where you die or you get captured and you lose a lot of progress. And that was a little frustrating. Especially in that Pike infiltration mission that I probably played for 30 minutes. Just trying to break into that stupid place. Overall,
Man, that was so easy.
It was.
Dude,
You go to the left, go all the way to the right, go all the way around.
I kept getting caught. I couldn't do it.
Even during the preview, they were like, "I'm surprised you like figured that out that quickly." Some people got really stuck. So, Paz,
me.
you are the some people.
Some people. Overall, like I enjoyed it. I think it is a good game. I know there's like graphical glitches and stuff with it, but like, what games don't have that, especially on early access? Would I recommend it if you're a Star Wars fan that likes Ubisoft games? Yeah, I recommend it. If you're one of those, wait till it goes on sale. If you're none of those, then why would you buy it? And that's my take on Star Wars Outlaws. Oh, and Nyx is the best part of the game. Natch.
So I will second that. I think Nyx actually is the best sidekick we've had in a video game in I don't even know how many years. I can't even think of another one that is not just fun but functional. Like
Fair.
Nyx as a sidekick is extremely functional, especially to the stealth mechanic. If you don't use him during the stealth missions, then you're not playing the game properly.
Correct.
But I also find there's like, if you point your gun at Nyx, he does this like thing where he's like puts his hands up, and I haven't found him annoying. He hasn't jar jarred at all at any point. You do eat scenes with him, like
Yeah,
so
that
far.
was really cool.
So far, Nyx to me is a job well done. And the reason why I truly, truly think he's a great character in Star Wars lore, sorry, is because they didn't cop out and just give Kay's sidekick to be a droid.
Right.
Every Star Wars movie, the sidekick is a droid. Except Han Solo's sidekick is Chewie, but at the same time, I think Chewie is his own character. I almost don't want to classify Chewie as a sidekick anymore because
He
he's just
transcends.
Thank you. He does. And Nyx is almost there for me, and he doesn't even speak because Nyx is so quintessential to the story, and he does a lot to progress the story, and he does a lot to progress the game itself. You have to use him a lot, and you should. But at the same time, his functionality and the way they have it, so you're just pressing the L. I'm playing on PlayStation, so you're just pressing that L1 button, and then you can just link to commands, and he can find you the secrets and so on and so forth. I just found it to be refreshing how good he was as a sidekick, and how he didn't get away, and it wasn't just a gimmick. He didn't feel like a gimmick at any time. So For Nyx, yes, I love it. With regards to the open world, so I wouldn't call myself a Ubisoft expert, but according to my Ubisoft, account, I think I am. So I actually think this is the smallest open world they've ever done,
Hmm.
and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So, is someone coming off Valhalla where I put 400 hours in that game? Like, it's not Division 2, but 600
Right.
hours. But I put a lot of hours in Valhalla, but the map was just huge, and you're just going to question marks that really ended up being nothing. The thing that I did appreciate about this, every question mark mattered. You're either gaining something to upgrade your character K, which that I also do. We'll get into the upgrade system. I truly think the upgrade system is better than they've done in other Ubisoft games. And I will say I do have my gripes with this game as well. But I was very impressed that the map size is big and that every question mark mattered.
Mhm.
It was either and every data pad, a lot of games just make you read something and it does
Yeah.
nothing. Every single data pad in this game matters. It
Mm.
progresses the story or it tells you about somewhere to go get an upgrade. It has a meaning. So I end up reading them. And a lot of games I end up just like, if they're just collectibles. There really isn't collectibles because even the collectibles that you pick up, you can trade them with the dealers or sell them to the other clans to gain notoriety. Like it's extremely well. The clan system for like the poor,
The
the
rep
good,
system.
the reputation system, I don't think it works very well. I think they need to maybe look at it. I understand how it works to like so you can infiltrate, and that's how some of those missions are even easier for you, Pez.
Yeah.
But I find it very frustrating that I'm doing a mission that one clan doesn't even know about, and then my reputation goes down with them. How do they even know? What do they have a camera on my shoulder? Like it's very frustrating. I understand if like I stole something or did something right in front of them, but
Mhm.
to do something that they have no clue about, and I'm not interacting with them, and there's a bunch of missions that do that, and then my rep goes down. It's like really, it frustrates me. I think they can fine tune it and make it better. I agree with you, Pez, that the stealth is a bit frustrating.
Ugh.
As you get better at it, it's less frustrating. And I'll say this about it. Oh, some of the gripes people have said about Star Wars games is you're using the Force and you got a lightsaber and you're just killing everybody. Well, they didn't do that in this game. They decided, hey, you're pretty much a nomad because you're not on anybody's side.
Mhm.
Everybody's chasing you. You're really just trying to clear your name and make yourself better, which is not a little less selfish than what Han Solo, who just cares about Han Solo. But this is like Kay's trying to like she has a goal here. And I don't want to give it away because I think they did another thing. Kay is canon, and they did a good job creating a new character in the Star Wars lore because I think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like her too.
Yeah, I just think yes, Paz, I agree with you. The stealth mechanics are a bit frustrating, especially like if I knock a guy out who's halfway across the screen and some guy on the other side of the screen who's no way in the world knows. All of a sudden, you get this yellow question mark pops up, and somehow he knew I did that. Like,
Mhm.
come on! Like, if you're gonna have this sort of more stealth, then have it so I can knock a guy out, put him somewhere, and I know they don't want it to be like Assassin's Creed, but then you've got to figure out a way if you're gonna do stealth, especially Ubisoft. You guys do stealth better than anybody else, yet this game's stealth is not that good. And also, I'll say this, Massive makes one of my favorite games of all time, which is The Division 2, and I think that the, uh, cover mechanics for shooting is bad, and I
Yeah,
think it could
it's
be
not great.
it's not. I think the gunfire is not bad once you've upgraded your weapon, but before that, it is terrible.
Mhm.
And for a studio at Ubisoft that makes some of the best shooting mechanics in any of their games, I was a little disappointed. But I say this is a good game, not great. I thought it would be like a 78, 80. It was the score. I see the scores, but a lot of the times with the Ubisoft game, it's people going after like, news from years ago and they just want to pan a Ubisoft game. Like
Right.
Eurogamer's review of it, Jesus, that's brutal. Like it's not that bad. Two, like come on now. Like Eurogamer, be better. But I I really think that they have something here and that if they do make another one, it's going to be so much better. I'm
Mhm.
almost done it. I've got maybe a couple hours left. And Pez, you put out something in our messages about that email. I haven't seen anybody get this. like the people that keep reiterating it, it's the same email that people keep reposting. So I'm not sure. It could be real, but it once again, it's a Ubisoft game, so people go after it. It's just but I think they did a very good job. And then my other gripe is I think the graphics are decent at best. I see people posting pictures and saying how great the graphics are. I'm like, I don't know what you're playing it on. Maybe you're playing it on PC, but I'm playing on PS5 and some scenes look pretty rough. But then again, like I would say if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a must buy. Like I don't know how you don't. I think the story is very good. It is a very good Star Wars story. It's better story than the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think that's what's going to carry it because for me, I think a good story can kind of help you overlook things like I would say average gameplay, which honestly is what I feel this is, but I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, okay, I agree.
This game, it feels like Star Wars, and I mentioned this in our review over at youtube.com/that's in a console. But it feels like Star Wars, and I think that's a very challenging to do well because we've seen instances where it's been done well and instances where it hasn't, and then times where it's like, okay, some parts here, some parts there. And I'm not just talking about TV shows, I'm talking about the movies, I'm talking books, like this whole extended universe. But I never once felt I'm like, oh man, this doesn't make sense. And even online, some people are like, oh, look at this writing, it's cringe. And they're like, you've never watched Star Wars. Like it literally, from the dialogue, from the story, everything feels like it's in that world. And to Court's point, it is. They've done such a good job. I think the acting is so good from like the main characters. And it just feels like that. So I can kind of overlook things that I would criticize, and because I think the story is so well done, the characters are extremely likable, and not just like from the story aspect, just visually, it looks like Star Wars. Like even when you're in a ship, they've got like the '80s style like computer screens with like the weird things that never actually made sense. Like the detail there, at least my whole game is in like widescreen. Which I think is really cool. You have the bars at the top
I
and
don't know
bottom.
how you're doing that, dude. That is oof.
I love it. I think it's so cool. It feels like it's a movie. And also too, like in transitions, you have like the screen wipe, you have like the iris in and out. Like it's like these really cool like video transitions that they did in the movies. It's like, nice little nods to it. And also too, like their pre-order bonuses. Love it. You can basically dress up as some of your favorite characters, and I'll leave you to figure out what that is. But like it's really cool. I did more. I stayed kind of away from this main storyline because I'd already done it. So I want to really explore. So I took my time to like upgrade my speeder, which is like I think cool, and it's not like challenging and doesn't feel like fetch questy. Like you go and do like a little, area with platforming, and it's like kind of like rewarding and fun. It's not just like do a fetch quest, get these items, whatever. Like that's how
That's
I
what I'm
felt like
saying.
Far
Yeah, the
Cry.
side missions aren't garbage.
Yeah,
which is rare.
It's like you have to like steal like a power cell and shut down. It's cool. And also too, they have this card game called Sabak, and I freaking love that. Love card games.
I can't
like
stand them.
I know, fair, but it's a side kind of thing.
Yep.
I love card games. Like I play like Hearthstone Battlegrounds. I love Balatro. Like this is like my jam. So I've just been using so you get like special cards. Like you can find them in the world or like as you like progress in the story. I've just been challenging myself to do the base ones. And I made it past like I did the first one, then I got invited somewhere else, and I got invited somewhere else. So I've been like cruising through this
You're just
side
a
story.
Sabak aficionado.
I'm a Sabak shark. So I beat this table. I'm not gonna share whose table, but basically they're like, oh man, people know who you are now because you're good at this game. Things are gonna open up to you. So now I'm guessing, because I haven't gone there. When you go to other worlds, you're going to be able to get invited to
How do the
Sabak
people
tables.
in the video game know who you
are? Fair. But I just love that, how it's like, I'm not playing the story, I'm playing like this mini game because I'm a degenerate gambler. So
I will say,
that's fun.
When it came to Sabak, I got a nice Gwent feel to it. You can immerse
good.
yourself in the strategy.
Can I ask you both a question?
Yes.
Yes.
These mini card games that are in games, why?
Love it.
Because they're
especially
fun.
when they like tie like parts of the story to it. Like what? Why?
Because it's fun. No, I love it.
I disagree.
There's there's another one like I would play nonstop. Oh yeah, like Fallout New Vegas. Like I got kicked out of every casino. Like I will say this, like From
Like,
a like
say
a
like one more
card
time.
game standpoint, I know, right? It's actually very good. It does feel like poker, but like futurist. There's like interesting ways that you can impact the story, like or impact the game with different cards you have. They get the special cards too, and there is a level of like actual strategy to it because you have to be able to know how many like redraws they can do, and you have to be able to save your own redraws. It is very. I'm not gonna say it's like super deep, but it's deep enough for a side card game that's in the game, and it's great. Like I would love for them to do like a I would love for them to do more with this because I'm having a lot of fun with Sabak.
Is that an actual like Star Wars thing, or was it made for this game?
I don't pay attention to that much.
I think it was made just
No,
don't know.
I wouldn't go there. I would say it's an actual thing.
I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
I would not doubt that it's an actual thing.
I love the little robot dealer. Like it's just the wild cards.
Hold me now.
It's fun.
I mean,
But no, I think the game is great. I love
it's
it.
good.
I'm having a lot of fun.
So you give it a score.
I would give it
mine.
so for me, as someone who I will qualify this as someone who doesn't really play a lot of open world. To your point, you said it's kind of smaller and condensed, which I agree with. I would actually give it an 8 from my perspective.
Okay.
Because I like how if you want to get lost in the world, you can. If you don't, they make it very easy to follow the main storyline, and I think you get rewarded either way. I don't think that you're missing out by just going and doing the main story because I've had that experience with the initial demo. And I feel like now I'm not missing out on the main story and like, dragging it on by going through all the little side missions.
Okay.
And I like the variety in the different types of missions you can do. Again, the stealth I don't love. The gunplay I actually think is whatever. Like it's fine. Like I think it's like, it's just they don't have good AI. They're just overwhelming you with numbers sometimes. I don't like that you pretty much only get a blaster, and I know you can make modifications, but like I would love to have a second firearm. Like when I pick up a rifle from the ground, if I want to climb up a ladder, I don't like that I drop it.
Yeah.
I feel like the combat is very lacking, which is surprising because you said they do the Division, which I think, from what you've shared and what I've seen, does gunplay very well. That's the purpose of it. So for this to basically be like super watered down, in my opinion, that's surprising. But to your point about it being like, I'm assuming if there's sequel, Mass Effect 1, I would say some of the same things where the gameplay was rubbish and basically the story carried it. And then you get into 2, which I would say is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
If that same formula fits, good story can bring like a good story can push forward a game like average gameplay.
That is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for here we go. Like they were able to do it that way. Like that's my please give me. Don't want to be don't want to be selfish.
Exactly. But I mean, I think it's good. Again, if you're a big Star Wars fan, I would recommend it. If you're not, I think it's worth checking out on sale. And I mean, again, we're from a position, again, shout out Ubisoft, we were able to play early because of, them. But this was something I was anticipating. Like I was going to buy it anyway. Like this was one of my buy games.
I buy pretty much every Ubisoft game. So what am I to say? Like literally.
So it sounds like, we all have our feedback about this game, but overall our impression's still positive. There's another game that came out where people say the gameplay is good, but the overall impression is maybe less favorable. Let's talk about Concord. Whatever. Concord. I'm saying it like the Massachusetts town of Concord.
Whew. All right. So here's my thing with this game.
Good segue. Can I get a 7 out of 10?
So I'll give you a 6.5.
I want to put an asterisk on this for me. I don't like hero shooters. I have never found one I like. I didn't like Marvel Rivals. Tried it. Didn't like it. Everybody seems to like that game. Didn't like it. I have tried Overwatch over and over again. Did not like it. So take my opinion with the biggest grain of salt. And I truly think it has a lot to do with if a multiplayer game doesn't have a single player aspect. And I'll get into that about this game because some people say it does, and I don't think it does. I don't seem to enjoy it. The reason I think I enjoy like a game like The Division so much, which isn't a hero shooter, but I know it is a online game, is because you 100% can play it by yourself. And if you do play it in teams, it's easy to understand what you need to do, and everybody will do it together. My biggest gripe with Concord is a couple things. One, everybody's using the same character because there's only like 3 or 4 characters that actually matter. The rest of them just, I don't know. They just don't seem to do anything. I've tried them all out. I had the one character that I really liked using, and that's the one I used. And it seems that a lot of people use that as well. But I found when I was playing with friends, playing with Steve Igvari, and I was playing with Matt, I was having a phenomenal time with the game. I think the shooting is fantastic. I think the shooting mechanic and how the gameplay itself is very good. Yes, I found it repetitive after a while, but I think the maps are done with some variety and thought out that I think they're done well. My biggest issue is I can't just jump in if I'm not playing with a group and talking to them and communicating. I found it extremely, extremely difficult to play the game on my own. So I only found myself playing the game if I was playing with friends.
Mm.
And if I wasn't playing with friends, I couldn't play the game. So for me, I didn't enjoy the game because it's very hard for me in my lifestyle to find the time and be able to play with people at the exact time that I have that hour available to play. So for me, the game just didn't grab me. I think they have something here. I just think it's also unfortunate that they're trying to get into a market that is extremely hard.
Yeah.
Some people are giving gripes on, oh, well, it costs, $40 or whatever to buy. Well, I think that's reasonable considering they're giving you all the battle passes and all the extra stuff. That's all free after the fact. You're paying once and you're getting everything. So I don't think that is a fair criticism, but that's my opinion. I just think that kind of criticism is just lazy, considering your people that play Fortnite just throw tons and tons of money for skins, and people when they buy skins, that's just crazy to me. It's a digital asset that you'll never use again, but okay, money, throw it away. But I don't know. I feel bad. I think personally, I appreciate the team for doing a new IP, but I think they would have had more success if they just made another Killzone multiplayer game or did a PlayStation All Stars shoot 'em up hero shooter. I don't care about these characters,
Yeah.
like at all.
I'm a huge Overwatch fan, and like that's kind of like how I felt about it. Like, so if I want to play a hero shooter, I'd just play Overwatch. As much as we've kind of dunked on it, like I know Pez and I played a lot of it, but like I don't like how. So there, I know just talk about Star Wars, another story can drive it. The story in this I don't like, and let me tell you the 2 reasons. One is they kind of hit you over the head with it. I think Overwatch does it very good by baking it. There's a overarching story, and then they bake it into the details on the map, and they trickle it through, and you get to learn more about these characters as time goes on. I think it's very clever, through these different events. Also, too, the characters, I couldn't really find one that speaks to me, and I mean the sense of like me wanting to play as that character. I'm talking from a purely gameplay perspective. It seems more like Unreal Tournament to me, in that every character fires a weapon. In Overwatch, I like how everybody feels different. I mean, the character that speaks to me in Overwatch is Roadhog, like where I use a hook to grapple you in, and then I shoot you, and like there's a level of strategy with it where like you go for the healers, you try to get the small like it, or I would play Mei, who has like an ice shooter, which is like delayed, or you can like do either shoot an icicle or you can like freeze them. There's like synergy between all the characters. This feels like Unreal Tournament where the players are just a different skin, like a palette swap of each other.
Yeah.
They might have a different gun, but at the end of the day, they're all more or less the same, except for maybe like a few of the support. And another thing I don't think it does well is as much as I hate it, you do need to like roll lock, because there's no synergy. It feels like this is not a team game. It is 5-on-5 deathmatch. In Overwatch, one thing it does well is you have to have your support, you have to have your tank, you have to have your attack. But like I haven't found that to be the case here. And I feel like that's why it's up.
So, okay, so I haven't played this game because the idea of investing more time into another hero shooter that I necessarily don't care about is just like, I'm not going to do it. Are there rules? This is obviously a dumb question.
Yeah.
Are there rules like that?
I will say my impression's more of the advanced like game, so I haven't played the current version. So if what I'm saying is wrong, I apologize. This is my impression from the beta or whatever.
Gotcha.
But I also think like charging for this, and I know Court said it's not a lot. It isn't a lot, but it is if you don't know what the property is.
Right.
I would love for there to be a free version, which you can get into, and then if you want all the battle passes forever, you can basically pay a fee. But trying to compare something like Overwatch, which has an existing fan base and generally good feedback about the gameplay, to something that's new, that's 40, I think it's very challenging to be like, well, why would I pay for this when I can just go play that for free?
Well, and I
So
think
that's my opinion on it.
I think when you look at hero shooters, who asked for this? That's the thing. It's like hero shooters are it's not a saturated market, but it's a market that's dominated by
It's a tough market.
It's pretty much dominated by Overwatch, and then you have like your random I don't know, what was that game that failed? Paladins. Remember that game, Paladins? It was like a knockoff of Overwatch. You have Marvel Rivals, but like, is that game even? And this is going to be a dumb question. Is that game out yet, or is it still in like this early access, creator only type thing?
I don't know. I've played it. I have it, but I got a code for it.
Yeah. So like, I don't even know if that's out yet. And then, I don't know, like, I just
I don't like it.
No one said, you know what, we want like a Sony team shooter. That no one cares. And it's evident no one cares because there is no one playing it on Steam. I think their player count right now is probably 100 people.
But I would say that they would if it was not like it was characters they cared about.
Well, yeah,
like if it was Killzone and like all that, like
yeah, if it was a PlayStation All Stars, the Team Hero Shooter version, people would love it.
What baffles me though, why didn't you just release it on PlayStation Plus, and then have like a paid version if you wanted to like do like it's like Sony does this. When it comes to multiplayer games, I'm kind of down on Sony because they screwed Helldivers, they ruined that game, and then they released this in a way that's like already making the game weaker compared to like their competitors. Like $40 in order to get into something that you might not even be sold on or that nobody's playing. Like if I see the player base right now, why would I ever buy this game? No one's gonna play it.
Right.
It's like it's self-fulfilling prophecy if you see the numbers. Like release it free to play, get people in there. They've done this before with new releases. Can't recall the last one they did. But like that's how you get the install base, and the install, if you get people who really like it, talk the game up, buy the extra stuff. Like you'll make money that way. That's what Fortnite did. Well, not in the beginning, but
it's Sony, man. Like they don't do stuff like that. And when they do, like what was the Foam Stars?
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
That they didn't make that game.
Yeah, but they released it for free on PS
Yeah, but
Plus.
it was a PlayStation. Wasn't it a PlayStation exclusive game?
It was exclusive, yeah. It's a bad game.
It's Splatoon, but with like anime.
Once again, the market is so saturated, so dropping new IP is so hard. Helldivers was something different. No other game was like it. But if you're gonna drop a hero shooter, put heroes I care about. I know Overwatch did what they did, but Overwatch came out when there wasn't that many. Like the market wasn't. They were the market.
It was like Team Fortress 2, and that's it.
Yeah.
They would have dropped a game where you're using Killzone, Infamous, and all their plethora of characters, and they made a hero shooter out of it. People would be playing the living daylights of it.
I feel like the characters visually look unique. They do not feel unique. Every time I play a different character, I'm just using like a bazooka this time or a gun this time. Like the characters don't feel different enough where I want to get invested and be like, oh, that one's my main. Like it took when I was playing Overwatch. I love trying the different ones. I feel like the support are there support characters or they're just tanks? I don't even think there's like healers. It's like, and I feel like the modes, I don't know, like do you have like objective based modes or is it just like deathmatch?
I honestly couldn't figure it out.
Like Overwatch, one thing I love where it's like, okay, you have to capture this point and then go to the next one, or like you capture a point and then now it's a convoy. What do they call it? You have
bring the robot.
Exactly.
Babysit the robot.
Or like get this one and this one. Like it creates, and the maps have these like choke points where it makes like really compelling experiences. And again, when I played this, like I didn't feel like that. It feels like Team Fortress 2 or not Team Fortress 2. It feels like Quake. It feels like Unreal Tournament. I had that experience 15 years ago.
Yeah, and
I didn't like it.
And I don't know if and again, I haven't played it because I don't care. So I'm not gonna pay $40 to play a hero shooter that I'll just play the better version of it for free. Um, it doesn't make sense if there were to be no objective based games in a hero shooter. So if there's no, I mean, again, like I have no idea. If there's no objective based modes in a hero shooter, you completely botch the point. And it's like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why even bother? I mean, it didn't. When it was announced, I was excited about it. But that's because I thought it was like a space game the way it came out, right? Because like you're on that ship and you're like, oh, is that my ship? Is that the Concorde? Is that the Concord? Like, is that the name of the ship? Who knows? And now all of a sudden it's a hero shooter, and everyone's like, no.
I also don't like the menus. I don't like the little cards that come across. I can barely read them. It's almost like it wants to be Guardians of the Galaxy without Guardians of the Galaxy in the Guardians of the Galaxy world, telling me that there's this story that I'm following along that I don't care to, and I don't really notice there is a story to follow along. It's frustrating because I think they could have had something and they just missed the boat with it. Like, I am not the person screaming for new IPs.
No,
I'm not.
Not right now.
And if you're going to do a multiplayer game, there's a reason Marvel Rivals is going to do well, because it's Marvel characters. And if you look right now, what's doing well in movies and such like that, it's
Sequels.
it's things that people already know. New IPs aren't doing well.
No, that's why you get the same Marvel trash all the time.
Why would you make a 5-on-5 game when Overwatch did it and got yelled at so much they're changing it back to 6-on-6? Like, brother, do your market research. Brother. It's like you have McDonald's right there and your Burger King. Just follow what they do. Like they basically paid the price so you can figure out 6-on-6 is what people want. But
I don't want that either. I don't want any.
You know what? Well, one game that is coming out. I know we're talking about online type games. I know Helldivers has a trajectory, but the new thing that's going to be coming out that I think all of you would like is the new Warhammer game.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm telling you, that game is
my book.
Going to be Helldivers, but better.
I could have played it at Fan Expo, and guess what I did? It didn't.
The lore is so. I have spent so much time listening to lore in the Warhammer universe. It is so interesting to me, and the more I see about it with them, like these guys are just so bad. Like this game is going to do so well. It's capturing, I think, what Helldivers did well, but they're making the player overpowered. Where they think Helldivers, they made the player underpowered, and then they continue to nerf, and they didn't do anything with the story. The story's already baked in. Like they're not creating something new. They're injecting you into a world that's
already
there and loved. And the Warhammer games they've made, and again, I've never played the tabletop. I played a lot of the games. They've done really, like, they're really good. And I'm talking like the Total War. I'm talking like the Warhammer, like, Space Marine. That was a really good one. This game looks sick.
My friend group is quite juiced for this game. Quite juiced. They're very excited to play it. Means
the writing is so good. Like I saw one where they have the banner and they're just standing and there's this whole like term, like I don't know, these like weird bug things. They're like, if we die with vengeance on our lips. Like, and like one guy goes down, he's like, get up. He's like, I've lost my leg, brother. And he's like, it's like, this is what, like, people are gonna love this thing. I can't wait. The lore is so cool. And Henry Cavill's gonna play it, which is what matters the most.
That is truly what matters the most.
Yeah. So, folks, we've gone through a lot of different games and a lot of different other things. Anything we haven't covered yet?
I'm seeing a picture of Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews practicing, and they were just at the rink around the corner from my house.
I thought they're in Germany.
They're
playing
in Germany?
I thought they were playing with someone in the Dell League.
All right, because the dressing room looks so familiar. Okay, that makes me feel better.
Maybe it's the Dugenhassen.
Duhas. Dugenhassen.
Yeah, I actually have for those.
The Call of Duty beta is this weekend. Everybody go play it. Me and Pez will be playing it.
Yeah, go play it. You can jump in a million different directions.
Oh, and MLB The Show is free on PlayStation Plus. You have zero excuse now. Go play that game.
Just don't play Diamond Dynasty. It's boring. Seasons are stupid.
What was the other game that's coming out for PS Plus? Like the main one.
Foam Stars.
So.
No, is it not Foam Stars? Is it
Not this month.
Is it Splatoon 4?
Oh, Quidditch Champions.
Play that game.
Yeah, looks fun.
Quidditch Champion or Quidditch Champion?
That was too far.
I'm sorry.
No, he's talking to me. I did a mom joke.
Oh, no, I
go to if you see anything weird on your body, go to the doctor.
True.
Because I noticed on my arm, not there. I don't know if you guys did. Was it as large as it was when they cut it off when we were at PAX? Did you notice anything on my arm?
I
No.
wasn't checking your arms out. I mean, they were looking buff, but
you didn't tell me about your arm.
Charge.
You didn't tell me
so
about
basically,
your arm.
like I had like a lump on my arm, and they cut it off, and it's oh my gosh, what is it called again? I forget. It's basically some version of skin cancer that's not considered like
sarcoma.
Super serious skin cancer. It's squamous cell sarcoma.
You're welcome.
Carcinoma.
You're welcome.
So it got cut off last Monday. Sorry, I got the call yesterday. Last Wednesday. That it's not serious. They're gonna cut the rest out. But if you notice something like weird happening with your skin, new freckles or whatever, go to the doctor. Don't be a stupid idiot and think you're fine, because you may not be.
I go once a year.
It's not worth it.
I go once a year.
That was only my second time at the dermatologist.
I told Pez that that's probably all his pent up like hate.
All my aggression is from my literal, all my cancer is from the literal cancer.
So the used video game store that's close to me is doing 25% off every pre-owned game.
I would legally rob them by getting all the good deals.
401k about to get emptied.
Cash that bad boy out.
$65 of it.
Do I go get the remaining NHL games that I need?
I could get 13 games in Canada for that much.
You know what sucks? They charge so much for NHL 22 here in Toronto because
Austin Matthews on the cover.
Pants Boy's on the cover.
The captain.
Yeah, Captain, pull my pants down.
Captain, pull your pants down.
So
has Tavares ever been on the cover?
No.
Womp.
That is my biggest gripe with the NHL series, that they had the gall, and I'm using the word gall, to put Austin Matthews on the cover twice.
They put Bergeron on. Thank God.
Yeah, and the worst NHL game.
That's when I started. So to me, I've got very fond memories.
NHL 15 is the worst NHL game that they made.
Just don't worry, Pasta will get one at some year.
No, he won't.
He's born for it.
It'll be
well, you know what I don't understand? I don't understand, and I'm gonna go down. Go down.
You
know what?
Take a walk.
I got to interview Luke Hughes, Quinn Hughes, and Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, that guy's a gem. He chirped me. I really appreciate that guy. He's a good interview. My mic wasn't working. It kept going on to mute, and so then I finally got my question off, and he was just like, "Whew." It was getting a little fuzzy there. Like you were on mute for so long, it was distracting me. You know what? Fine. But he was joking about it. Like he was breaking the ice. He's actually a very like animated. He spoke most out of the three of them. Quinn Hughes, the rumors are true. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a
nice young man.
Yeah, he's just a nice guy. Sure. I wouldn't know because he barely says anything.
Yeah.
But none of them play the game. And the reason why that shocks me that they chose them, it's great. To me, Jack Hughes is one of the best players in the league, so I totally get it. And Quinn Hughes just won the Norris. My dad says he's the best defenseman in the league. I still say it's Cal Makar, but we can have that argument. I still say it's Cal Makar. I think that's obvious to everybody, right? It's Cal Makar. Yeah. Quinn Hughes definitely number 2. But then Victor Hedman.
This kid says Zadorov. Get out of here.
Zadorov.
Who is
Zadorov? Whatever.
Stop it.
Zadorov, isn't he Rice? Isn't he the San Francisco Rice guy?
I don't know. So none of those guys play the game. And the reason why, when you mentioned Pasternak, I know he plays the game. He doesn't just play the game. If you guys remember last year when we got got in early and we were playing it, I was playing Chell, and I was playing against him because he had the Pasternak jersey on. So I knew it was Pasternak, right? Because that's how you know it was the player.
Did you smoke him?
No, he smoked me. But that's fine. I know for a fact that my cousin plays with him and he's very good at the game. So I was like, you could have picked a guy like David Pasternak. One, he is very animated. He is very easy. He's entertaining.
Yeah.
He also plays the game.
Yep.
And he's also very like just good in the NHL. It's not like they're playing some scrub, right?
And also, there's a
that's
reason the
gonna be
Boston Bruins
trash.
get a lot of the outdoor games is because they sell more jerseys than any other team in the league.
There you go.
I think Chicago is number one.
Ugh.
Well, Bedard factor.
No, Chicago factor. Bedard's only been in the league for a year.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
see
and-
everything
Waba.
sold out that one year.
Waba, who has played in the more outdoor games than any other team?
Chicago.
Who's number 2?
Boston.
Who's number 3?
Ooh, I would say Detroit.
Flyers.
Is it Detroit?
It's either Detroit or the Flyers. And then you'd have the Rangers. And then you'd have the Leafs. Why? Because their jerseys sell more than anybody else.
That's right,
Chicago,
guys.
Boston, Detroit, and the New York Rangers. Those are the most selling U.S. jerseys, and the Leafs is definitely the number one selling Canadian jersey. No, like by far. So there's a reason Austin Matthews is on the cover twice because he transcends. He's an American athlete. So boom. But I would think I'm looking at the yearbook here from the Hockey News. Fantastic. Our boy Mick Colagio's in it. I highly recommend it. Go get it. Passes on the cover here. So is Jack Hughes, though. No, he's not. Well, hold on a second. Jack Hughes doesn't even make the cover of this yet. He's on the cover of NHL. And oh no, Jack Hughes is there. Quinn Hughes isn't because they put Thatcher Demko, which is an interesting choice. The guy's not even going to play next year, probably.
Nope.
Another guy you could stonk on because his rookie card's going to be nothing to buy.
Donk, let's do it.
He's not playing though.
And they're like swimwear.
Yeah. It's just I think marketing wise, and I'm just like, I think Pasta would have been the better choice. And that's not just because I'm a Bruins fan. It's just because I know he plays the video game.
I mean, some of their cover athletes have not been great. Zegras, come on now. Say what you want.
You know what? I think you got to remember, this is they
Horrible.
want kids to buy the game. It's not
Of
for
course they
us.
do. I know that. I know.
And I actually agreed with Waba. Waba's first thing he said to me when I got that email, he was like, "Why is there not a female on the cover?"
I have my
I think-
by
well,
the way,
here's what I
today they
think.
finally upgraded women's players. Thank God. It only took them until August 28th.
Well, maybe it was because I literally asked the devs to do it.
I bet you bet, dude.
Did you really?
It frustrates me so much.
Waba asked me to ask
Dude,
a question. I did.
Taylor
love that.
Heisey won the PWHL Cup, and she's been in 96 until this afternoon at 5:00. Like, what is you doing? It's like literally they go 2 years ago. They put Sarah Nurse on the cover. And they're like, okay, we're good. Like, it's like, why are you not following through?
Well,
like, if
no,
you're gonna make a commitment, make a commitment. And I don't.
think.
Oh God, it's so frustrating.
Okay, calm, breathe.
Breathe in.
I think all covers should be reversible for this game. There should be a male cover athlete and a female cover athlete, and you get to choose what the cover athlete is. Just like you can in an Assassin's Creed game, right? You get an Assassin's Creed game if you play in the main lines, you get to choose whether you're a male or a female, right?
Mhm.
I think for regards to the NHL, they can have 2 cover athletes, but you get to choose which one. And when it's at retail, it's just like random. Like it doesn't matter which one you buy because you could just change the cover to whatever cover athlete you want.
Right.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be great.
They're doing so they and 2K has been doing that for a few years, where they have a WNBA edition.
Can I never want you to bring up 2K?
No, I'm
Because-
just
Let me finish before your nudge
Right.
is just that's fine that they're doing it, but they have the most predatory practices in a video game I've ever seen with regards to gotcha mechanics and microtransactions.
fair, but similar to the cover piece. It's in 2022, so they've done it for the past 3 years, including this year.
Yeah, I just
So
think
I
think
like
it'd
the
be really cool.
consistency.
I think it'd be very cool if, say, EA, who makes the superior hockey game, people can get their gripes, but the gameplay itself is good. Last year's gameplay was actually good. You can say what you want about like the modes. The hockey gameplay was good. I think it's going to be better this year. The fact that you can actually play like a hockey player with the vision control. But if they did a singular cover athlete and then you could do the flip side and have a female cover athlete, especially with the P-dub now, like we need to hype it up. That's all. That I'm saying my piece.
Yep.
I like it.
So who's on the cover next year?
Connor Bedard. Hey, who are we kidding?
Can you imagine
I'm
Luke,
still.
Luke Hughes got on
I'm
before he
actually hoping. How many? So what's this? NHL 25. So the first one came out in 92, right? So how many years is that? Waba, do the math.
8, 24, 32.
So we're at year 32 of the game.
Yeah, 32 or 33, depending on.
Because I really wanted to do like a. Sidney Crosby's contract ends at the end next year, right?
Thank God.
Yeah.
Dude, they need to do like a Sidney Crosby edition.
Didn't he not want to be on the cover though? Like
No.
I heard rumors about that where people are like
Rumors.
he's on the
I
cover
don't
because
know
they
it
don't
to be
want to.
true.
I'm just throwing it out there.
We have McDavid's already been on the cover.
Mhm.
I think that was a good cover.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to do a Sidney Crosby cover or Nathan McKinnon. I think they really need to put the best player on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Put a
what is it they
goalie on the
did.
cover, will you? Just do it. Put a
Puts-
goalie on the cover. All goalies.
What are you
matter.
gonna have? Only goals.
Or start a trend of no matter what, it's going to be a Stanley Cup winner. So whoever won the cup the following year, they'll put a person from the cup winning team
I like that.
Oh, thank God we'll never have a Blackhawk on there.
or a Leaf.
No Connor Bedard for you people.
Well, I
Suck it,
just think
nerds.
it would be sad that we haven't got a cover with Sidney Crosby. I look at the list.
Yeah.
Oh, another guy for Stonks, Matty Beniers.
Yes.
His rookie card is not expensive. He's going to be
He
good.
just got 7. I like him.
Matty
Yeah.
B.
But yeah, I would think a good cover athlete for guys who haven't been on it. I would like to see Nathan McKinnon. I would like to see Sidney Crosby. I have no doubt that Connor Bedard will be on that cover, and he also plays the game. By the way,
A lot of the young kids do. I mean, what's it? Suzuki's do. He played his brother all the time. Like
Luke Hughes doesn't play the game. Jack Hughes was the only one of the three brothers that could name cover athletes and know who they were. He was the only one, which was very interesting because I guess I got to interview them first, and then I was noticing every interview that they did down the road, they did that day, because I was first thing in the morning, so I'm assuming we got to do it first that day. Like TSN, all them all had their interviews with Jack Hughes, and by then he was getting asked the same question that I asked about, like who's your favorite cover athlete, which is your favorite game, and he's like, boom, boom, boom,
that's
boom.
funny.
And he
Yeah.
ended up by the end of it, he was saying his favorite cover athlete was Bergeron, but his favorite game was the Marty Brodeur one. Was that 14?
Yes.
First year of the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
That is one of the best ones. But it was a PlayStation 3 game.
Mhm.
Very good game.
It's interesting. No, I agree about Crosby. I know I give him crap because obviously Pens, but he should definitely be on one before he's
one of the
done.
best players to ever play in the game. Top 5. I'm putting him in top 5. I just did it.
I'll allow it. I'm going to allow that.
Gretzky or Lemieux, 1A, 1B, 1C.
Sean
So there's your
Thornton.
top 3. There's your top 3.
Yeah, Sean
And
Thornton.
number 4?
Sean Thornton.
Oh, stop it. Gordie Howe.
That's fine.
Gordie Howe. And number 5, Sidney Crosby.
Old Sid the Kid.
Above Yager?
Yeah.
Way above Yager. What are you kidding me? You could.
I don't know. I saw this photo. They were like the Pens Mount
Hold on,
Rushmore.
dude.
It was
I
Mario,
don't-
Yager,
The only.
Malkin, and Crosby. And I thought it was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a good group.
You know, I think it's funny you said that because didn't I make an argument that Sidney Crosby was the best Penguin, and you guys told me no?
It's Mario Lemieux.
Well, then how isn't he better than Crosby in the top 5? You didn't
Mario
put.
Lemieux. I put Mario Lemieux, Gretzky, and Orr number 1, 2,
Oh,
and
did
3.
you? Okay,
Oh.
I didn't hear Lemieux.
And I do have and then I would say number 6, probably Ovechkin.
Interesting.
I don't like putting him there because I don't think he was a complete player. I think he's like a Brett Hull up there. He scores a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Where would you put McDavid then?
He's like 7. He's 7, 8.
Below
He's up
Ovechkin.
there.
Potential to rise, but
Dude,
My man's like bread.
I don't say this lightly. When I watched him play against the Vegas Golden Knights, I literally walked up to Bruce after the game, and the first thing I said to him was like, "How He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I have never seen someone play the game that good. He's like, I know. Like, he scored a goal within like 2 seconds into the game. But I'm like, when he touches the puck, he's better than everybody on the ice.
If he had won instead of Florida, would that change your top 7 in terms of where he lands?
No, he doesn't need to win a cup. He transcends that.
Interesting.
It's unfortunate because you got players like Marcel Dion and Jean Beliveau. I think Beliveau's it's tough. But see, I always say this. I say this to my dad, and he hates this, but I always try and tell him, how can I rate? I put Bobby Orr in there because I just know. Everybody tells me, but I have a hard time putting even Gordie Howe in my top 5 because I never watched the guy play.
But also,
So like I would love
also,
doing rather. Sorry.
It's also really hard to talk about all time because the game has changed so much. Like, the game and the rules of the game have changed from decade to decade that it's really hard to say, like, well, I think Gordie Howe is better than Connor McDavid, because the hockey that Gordie Howe played and the hockey that Connor McDavid played is different.
I just think they transcend. Like, I think Crosby's a better hockey player than, not now, but like better hockey player than Connor McDavid. But Connor McDavid will probably by the end of his career be better than Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
And I think Sidney Crosby has been the best player to play in the NHL since Lemieux Gretzky. And Lemieux Gretzky were 1A, 1B. I really think that. I think Mario Lemieux was a better skilled player. Like, he could just score, just his hands, right?
Yeah.
But Wayne Gretzky will always be the smartest player to ever play in the NHL. He's the smartest player to ever play. Like, it's crazy what that guy would do, right? Bobby Orr was it's pure skill, speed, all that kind of stuff. But I never got, like I said, never got to see him play. So I throw him in there because I'm just tired of people getting mad at me when I don't throw him in my top. But I'd rather do a list where if I was just doing without Bobby Orr, I wouldn't even do a 1A, 1B. I'd put Wayne Gretzky number 1. I'd put Mario Lemieux number 2. I'd put Sidney Crosby number 3. I would put I almost want to put Messier 4.
I mean,
but
you can make the case for it, for sure.
But I think I would put Yager 4. Ovechkin 5. Messier 6. McDavid 7.
Matt Sundin 8.
Ray Bourque 8. Lindstrom 9. Dominic Hasek 10.
Over Brodeur. Interesting.
Over Brodeur or Roy. Dominic Hasek's better than those two. Hasek's crazy good, dude.
I mean, he is crazy good. True.
And that has been your weekly hockey talk, sponsored by, I don't know,
Sponsored by
Dunkin'
Bauer.
Donuts.
Sponsored by Bauer.
I think we could just tell. We're once a month. There will not be a 3 Dads. It'll just be a hockey podcast. It's just what's going to happen in the.
Well, we did tie it into cover athletes and your experience with that, so it was a little bit of both. But folks, that's our time. Thank you so much for spending part of your week with us. Any final thoughts for the folks before we let them go?
Nope.
Dude, training camp. 2 weeks.
TC
Let's
2
go.
weeks.
All right, folks. If you had fun, make sure to follow us on I don't know, everywhere. YouTube, subscribe, youtube.com/3dadsonaconsole. Make sure to rate us 5 stars and tell us how beautiful we are and how good everyone's hair looks except mine because I need a haircut. You can see that over on YouTube as well. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
When you need a haircut, it always looks the same.
Because I do a green screen. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Just a
bye. We'll miss you.
Bye.
Say it back. Bye.